Hey, what's up guys, this is Vesper, and it's finally time to start breaking down the patch notes for Street Fighter V Arcade Edition. Today we're going to start with Ryu, of course, super popular, and he was fairly weak in Season 2, so I'd like to see the changes that he has gotten. Before we begin this, I want to give a shout out to a couple of people on Twitter. Thanks to these guys, we got like clear information on exactly what has changed, because the official patch notes don't tell us the hitbox and hurtbox information, which is really unfortunate, but now we know and now I can explain it. Also, any patch notes that have to do with collision boxes, I'm simply just going to skip, because at the end of the day, it's just a general change to make things more consistent in Street Fighter V. So let's get started. So the very first change is Ryu's forward throw. They increased the stun from 120 to 150, and they also changed positioning after hit. So first off, Ryu is now much closer to the opponent after a forward throw. And this is one of the most requested buffs that Ryu needed. I mean, most of the people just took a throw from Ryu because he was so far away it wasn't scary anyways, and they didn't want to get blown up from a shimmy. Ryu is actually +6, and he's close enough that he can actually do a meaty standing hard punch. And he can crush counter the opponent as soon as they get up. Really scary, so the opponent basically can't jump out or backdash out. He's in range of Ryu's normals, making Ryu a lot more scary. Even though he's not close enough for a throw loop, he's close enough that he's threatening that he can throw you again anyway. So a really huge buff right off the bat. Okay, next change is Ryu's standing light punch. It says hitbox height reduced below hurtbox and decreased pushback on hit and block. So first off, Ryu got hit with the universal nerf to anti-air light attacks, so this is for all the characters, not a big deal. And now it's said that it increased the pushback on hit and block for a standing light punch. This is actually a typo. They meant to say decrease the pushback on hit and block, because Ryu is now in kick throw range for a throw, which is a big buff to Ryu, because before he wasn't even throw range from his crouching light punch, so Ryu just wasn't scary in general. So if you combine this with the fact that Ryu is super close after a throw now and he can tick into it, it's really scary. And like I said, this does work on block as well. So Ryu players, you want to use your standing light punch more when you're close, because you're threatening with your throw, and because of that universal buff to normal throws where they have a 3-frame active window. Ryu is +4 on hit, so you can tick throw this on hit. Okay, now crouching light punch. Hurtbox has been increased to head height, so once again a universal nerf to anti-air light attacks, no biggie. Moving on now to Ryu's crouching medium kick. So they very slightly increased the range of it, and they increased the pushback distance on hit. So this now has more range than Ryu's standing light kick. So another requested buff, and even though the range has barely been increased, this will actually really help Ryu's mid-range game, which is what he needs. The increased pushback is a nerf, and this means that Ryu can't combo into Fireball when you hit with the tip of this added range, unless he uses an EX Fireball. That still works, so that's good. He'll also whiff an EX Tatsu at max range as well, so be careful about that. Let's see if I can show you guys. So like that. So yeah, a very slight nerf to compensate the added range, I would say though. Alright, Ryu's jumping hard punch and jumping hard kick. So hurtbox raised and hitbox lowered. This is just a universal buff to all the jumping hard attacks in the game to just make them more consistent, to beat out attacks that were not designed originally as anti-airs, also known as light attacks. Okay, Ryu's back hard kick now increased the advantage frames when canceling the second hit into VTrigger, and increased the start off from 8 to 9 frames. So Ryu is now +18 after canceling the second hit into VTrigger. This means that Ryu can now link a forward hard punch for bigger damage conversion. So I'll show you guys what that looks like. And since you can go into forward hard punch, this then easily leads into the new special donkey kick. Back hard kick is also a great meaty tool when you knock down the opponent as well, so this makes a really easy confirm into V-trigger in general. The increased startup means that Ryu can no longer link a back hard kick after a forward hard punch because it's 1 frame slower. But this nerf obviously makes sense, because otherwise Ryu would be able to do this crazy loop where he can basically go forward hard punch, back hard kick into forward hard punch into back hard kick. It'd be madness. Okay, Ryu's forward hard punch now reduced the damage from 90 to 80. So a slight nerf to compensate the extra damage they're going to get from EX Donkey Kick anyways, and his new back hard kick VTrigger cancel, which I just showed you guys. So overall, you're still going to do more damage than before. Moving on to EX Hadouken. So, reduce the recovery from 44 frames to 42 and can be now cancelled into VTrigger. So the patch notes clarify that the EX Fireball is still the same frames on hit and block as before, nothing changed on that, but this will still allow Ryu to act 2 frames faster after throwing out an EX Fireball, giving him more time to, you know, anti-air or block. And I know 2 frames doesn't sound like a lot, but trust me, it is. So Ryu can also now cancel this into his V-trigger on hit or block, and this makes him plus 19, which is a lot. This gives him enough time to actually dash in because he's got a 16 frame dash. But if you do land it though, you actually have enough time to dash and do a hard punch uppercut. So I'll show you guys what that looks like. You can easily just combo into this like this. So that's a pretty cool new combo, and this gives Ryu a great, you know, additional option to V-trigger cancel, especially with his crouching medium kick buff because it got more range, right? So you won't always see Ryu players dash in and go sweep into V-trigger like always. Okay, this is a long one, the VTrigger Hadouken. So the fireballs in VTrigger reduce the recovery on all 3 strengths to 42 from 45, 46, and 47. That's the light, medium, and hard versions. Level 1 damage raised on all 3 strengths from 70 to 80, Level 2 damage raised on all 3 strengths from 90 to 100, and Level 3 damage raised on all 3 strengths from 120 to 130. The Level 1 charge for all 3 strengths go from -6 to -2 on block, and the Level 2 charge for all 3 strengths are -4 to 0 on block. So, a large buff to the recovery of all 3 strengths of the fireballs. They now recover as fast as his EX Hadouken. So giving Ryu much more time to block or anti-air after he throws them. Really scary and dangerous to jump on Ryu now when he throws these fireballs out. The damage has also been slightly increased by 10 for all 3 levels of charge, and all V-trigger fireballs are now safe on block at -2 and even 0 at the level 2 version of the charge. So this means that Ryu is both much more threatening if you choose to deal with the fireballs by trying to jump over them, for example, or reflect them or whatever, because Ryu recovers so damn fast now when he throws these out. And it doesn't matter what strengths he uses, it's the same for all 3. He's also much more threatening if you choose to block them as well. Most of the time you'll wait it out, right? But when he's charging them, if he's 0 and -2, he's able to maintain the pressure. So, great buffs to VTrigger 1 overall. Of course, the VTrigger EX Hadouken has been changed, reduced the recovery from 43 to 40. So Ryu now recovers extremely fast when doing an EX Fireball in VTrigger, making it a very risky to jump on it afterwards. It's pretty much a guaranteed uppercut if you try jumping on him. Okay, so this next change is really cool. This is specifically for VTrigger 1, Ryu's Shoryuken. So, ease the air combo count for the normal and EX versions, and the EX version decreased stun from 250 to 200. So with this, you can now juggle normal and EX VTrigger 1 uppercuts after many things, giving Ryu new combos. So of course, I'll give you guys a couple examples here. Ryu can do a light Hurricane Kick into an EX DP for some cool extra damage. I'll show another combo. Boom! He could do a fireball in the corner into a regular uppercut. If I have enough time, I'll wait to recover here. That looks really weird. You could do an EX Tatsu into a regular DP. Hard DP from that as well. So if you guys haven't figured it out by now, Ryu's really dangerous in VTrigger 1, of course. It's almost like you don't want to throw the fireballs so you can do better combos overall. They also nerfed the stun of his EX uppercut just to compensate for the new combos, and of course the donkey kick as well, so that makes sense. And finally, of course, Ryu has a brand new special move that was very highly requested, his donkey kick. So this gives Ryu a new tool that is especially useful for hitting crouching opponents in combos. So most of the time when you hit a crouching opponent with Ryu, if you don't force stand, you know, you'll sail over their head if you do a Hurricane Kick. So usually you have to burn a bar to get some damage off of it, or a knockdown, right? But now you don't have to worry about that with Donkey Kick. I mean, if they're crouching, you can still convert it into some nice damage. You don't even have to burn a meter if you don't want to. You can just get a knockdown like this, for example. So really, really cool addition, and of course, I'll be make sure to make a brand new combo video featuring Ryu on all his updated combos, so look forward to that. Alright, so let's summarize these patch notes now. I would say overall, Ryu is buffed. Not insanely buffed, but he's definitely not a weak character this season. I feel like Ryu is pretty damn strong. His biggest changes is he's got a much better throw, more threatening, really close. His crouching medium kick has more range. He's got better combos overall, especially in VTrigger 1, and of course the addition of his donkey kick will allow some better conversions. So really nice. I'm sure we're going to see some Ryu players now. It's definitely worth considering. Maining Ryu, definitely viable. So yeah, I'm really happy about that. So be sure to subscribe to the channel, guys. We got a lot more patch notes to cover for future characters. And of course, like the video, guys. It really helps. And I'll see you guys next time. So take care.